Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football, taking a deep dive into some top quarterback transfer portal targets for the Miami Hurricanes after what was really just a frustrating last couple of weeks for the Hurricanes in the quarterback department, as you saw Mario Cristobal in Miami kind of put all their eggs in one basket with Cam Ward. It sounded like it was going well for a while. Then he ends up going to the NFL draft, and Miami Hurricanes here kind of just holding an empty bag. Now, there are a few quarterback targets that still kind of intrigue me for the Miami Hurricanes. And many of the Miami fans know, if you've been listening the last couple of weeks, this team in 2024 can be extremely dangerous if they get this quarterback position right. And you look at the talent surrounding the quarterback on the offensive side of the ball with such a good offensive line, with a run game that will be phenomenal in 2024, some really nice wide receivers on the outside, and then a defense that I think will have one of the better front sevens that you see in all of college football. If this quarterback position gets figured out, this is a team that is going to be extremely fun and extremely dangerous in 2024. Want to talk about some remaining options for the Miami Hurricanes at the quarterback department. Before we get into it, just want to say thank you to you guys. A shout out to the Miami Hurricane fans. This has been a program you all know I love talking about, whether it's on the high school recruiting trail, whether it's in the transfer portal, and you guys continue to show a ton of support to the boys, the highs, the lows. Can't thank you guys enough. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and more importantly, would love to hear from you guys in the comment section where you would like to see Miami go in the quarterback position group. And you look at some options. We're going to talk about a few transfer portal targets that are popping out to me, but also there's an option where you have a guy like Ja'Cory Brown, Emory Williams, who have flashed some potential. And there's a very strong argument that you could just say, hey, we don't need a quarterback to be added into this room. We can rock with what we have, and hopefully one of those two options pan out in 2024. And that is a completely reasonable take to have as well. But I do think Miami will do their due diligence in terms of some other targets in the transfer portal. I want to talk about a few of those guys. And the first guy I want to talk about is former five-star quarterback Malachi Nelson in the 2023 class. Now spent his first year at USC, played, I believe, 5 offensive snaps for USC in 2023. But one thing you cannot deny is the talent that Malachi Nelson has, and what he lacked experience at the college football level, he more than made up for at the high school level, throwing for over 8,000 passing yards, over 100 touchdowns, only 21 interceptions, also can make some stuff happen with his legs. And at the end of the day, Malachi Nelson, not necessarily a proven commodity at the college football level, a guy that there was a reason he was a top 20 national prospect, a 5-star quarterback coming out of that 2023 class, because he has all the talent in the world. And a guy that when you go back and watch the high school film, the fit in the Shannon Dawson offense makes a ton of sense, because there's not a throw on the football field a guy like Malachi Nelson cannot make. And you see him at the high school level create kind of out of structure, a attribute at the quarterback position that I think Miami really missed in 2023, right? When you look at a guy like Tyler Van Dyke, and when the plays weren't necessarily right there in his progressions, and he was asked to extend plays and play a little bit of off-script football, where you're seeing a ton of college football quarterbacks have a ton of success, right? Go back and look at Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy, not necessarily dual threat running quarterbacks, but quarterbacks that can make stuff happen out of the pocket. Tyler Van Dyke just couldn't do that. And I think that really hurt Miami and their offense. A guy like Malachi Nelson, he's not necessarily Lamar Jackson, but he's a guy that can extend plays and make things happen. And again, the arm talent is certainly there. And you talk about Malachi Nelson, he's not necessarily a bridge quarterback, right? Miami was normally, or kind of just targeting bridge quarterbacks, a guy like Will Howard, a guy like Cam Ward, guys that would come in for 1 year and elevate this offense in 2024. Malachi Nelson is a guy, and you can look at this 2 different ways. The positive way is you get him in, he's only going to be in his second year of college football. So you're getting a guy that you can continue to develop over the next couple of years. And I think that's exciting for Miami, because Miami's not only looking to win in 2024, but you look at what they've done on the recruiting trail in those 2023 and 2024 classes. This is going to be a team that's extremely competitive, not only in 2024, but in 2025 and in 2026 as well. So you get a guy like Malachi Nelson in there, a quarterback with a ton of upside, that if he pans out, is a guy that really could do some things with this Miami Hurricanes offense. Malachi Nelson, 100% a target for the Hurricanes on in the transfer portal, and you're starting to see some buzz around Miami pivoting to a guy like Malachi Nelson. Now, the next guy I want to talk about, and this is a fit that not necessarily jumped out to me at first, but the more I buzzed Jordan McCloud's film, the more I love the fit of what he could do in this Miami Hurricanes offense in 2024. Now, started his career at University of South Florida. He's from Tampa, Florida, coming out of high school, and a guy that put it together in the 2023 season. And you go back to Jordan McCloud, and you talk about some things that you like. One, the proven productivity at the college football level. At JMU, a team that was a top 25 team at times during this college football season, threw for over 3,600 yards, 35 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions, also added almost 300 rushing yards with 8 rushing touchdowns, and a 68% completion percentage, a guy that has the proven productivity. Two other things I absolutely love about Jordan McCloud. We talk about playing off script. Jordan McCloud can create outside of the pocket better than most quarterbacks in the country. And again, he's a guy that can use his legs to pick up the chains, but more importantly, when things break down and you have to create outside of the pocket, an attribute that I think is so important to playing the quarterback position at the college football level. Jordan McCloud certainly did that. But the most important thing that I don't think enough people talk about when you're evaluating quarterbacks, I think you could have a big knock on Cam Ward was, are you a winner? At the quarterback position, the most important stat that you are looking for at a quarterback is, are you winning football games? Are you showing up in the fourth quarter when it matters most? Jordan McCloud took a JMU team in the FBS level and went 11-1 in the regular season. Again, throwing for over 3,500 yards, 35 touchdowns, a guy that is a proven winner. When the chips were pushed into the middle of the table and it was time to be clutch in the fourth quarter, Jordan McCloud, time in, time out, showed that he's a winner at the quarterback position. And you want to talk about arm talent and you want to talk about NFL potential. At the college football level, you're trying to win games. Give me a quarterback that's shown that they can win games, and Jordan McCloud at JMU in 2023 showed that. Now, he's not getting the buzz like Cam Ward or Will Howard did, but because arm talent is not at Cam Ward's level. Let's just be clear with that. But what is at Cam Ward's level and maybe surpasses Cam Ward is what he can do kind of intangibly in winning football games and playing off script and using his legs. A guy like Jordan McCloud, if you want to give a guy like Ja'Cory Brown and Emory Williams a year to season up and develop, Jordan McCloud comes into this Miami Hurricanes team in 2024 and I think wins a lot of football games. If I'm Miami, I'm certainly taking a look at a guy like Jordan McCloud. And the last guy I want to talk about, and this is more one of my favorite quarterbacks in the transfer portal. And if you guys have listened to some other episodes where we've talked about some quarterbacks, Jaden Delora coming from Arizona, another guy. And Mario Cristobal has experience with Jaden Delora back in the Pac-12. The MO on Jaden Delora, an absolute gunslinger, a guy that's thrown for over 8,500 yards, 63 touchdowns. Now, the big bugaboo with Jaden Delora, and I know this is not necessarily going to resonate with a lot of Miami fans listening, turnovers have been a problem. This is a guy that's not afraid to put the ball in harm's way and try to make those big-time throws. And oftentimes, he makes those big-time throws. He can play off script extremely well and make some things happen, but he's a guy that's also going to turn the football over. Now, if you're excited about it, you're saying, okay, you're going into your 5th year of college football. The game is slowing down for you more. Maybe those turnovers are not as much of a problem for a veteran Jaden Delora as opposed to a sophomore in college Jaden Delora at Washington State where he had the turnover problems. So that's one thing you're looking at. But one thing that I assure you will not be the case with Jaden Delora as your quarterback is a boring offense. And this is a guy that's going to go out there, give a ton of effort, and make some jaw-dropping throws. A ton of arm talent, can spray the football around the yard, but a guy that, again, you just got to be a little bit more careful with the turnovers. And if he can do that, this is a guy that I think can really make some noise for the Miami Hurricanes in 2024. There are a few other guys. UNLV quarterback just hit the transfer portal. Haven't gotten the film in on him yet. I'll probably update you guys a little later once I can watch him. He could be another target, but if you're Miami, I think you're looking at two things. One, a late pivot to another quarterback, like Malachi Nelson, Jordan McCloud, Jaden Delora, or a few other guys, or you look at this roster and say, I think Ja'Cory Brown showed us enough where, hey, if we give him a lot of first-team reps, or Emory Williams in spring camp and in fall camp, we think they can be a quarterback that can win football games for us in 2024 and build around him. That's what the staff needs to do. They've seen these guys in practice. They've seen these guys in the meeting room. They have a better idea than any of us in terms of if these quarterbacks can be ready in 2024. And the fact that they've been so aggressive in the transfer portal, I think shows me that they maybe are not confident, so they'll go out and get a quarterback. These are a few options that have stood out for me. And again, if you want to let me know in the comment section and say, hey, I want to rock with JB, or I want to rock with Emory Williams, I would not argue with you. But I would also say that there are still some quarterbacks that maybe are not as flashy as Cam Ward or Will Howard that I still think would elevate this Miami Hurricanes team in 2024. Would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. Let me know, again, if you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.